Good evening and welcome to the show. We're going to be deconstructing Todd Snyder, an excellent. What category? See, let me put Ken on here. He's my expert witness.
Yeah, I think I'd put him in Roots Americana.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So, what are? Let me. I'm just gonna turn you down and far a bit here. Kind of crank it in here. All right. So, can you give me a test 1, 2?
Test 1, 2.
All right, that's good. Okay, your mic's a little bit hot. There we go.
Turn it down a bit.
Yeah. Also, yeah, it's really loud when you move it and so forth. So it must be really hot on your side. Those mics in the laptops are a little bit sensitive. Okay.
Well, this is on a tripod, but every time I reach to adjust the mic because I get a little fidgety, that's when you're hearing the noise. So
Okay.
I will not be fidgety.
All right. You'll be relaxed and calm while Brad yaps. Okay, so we're both here. We're both here on the stage. We will be demonstrating. So we got a blank area right now, but it will open up to seeing some really cool stuff. Looks like we're good on. Everybody is on. We can kind of watch for comments. I'm going to be pretty busy, but I want you to feel comfortable, so I'm just going to put hello here. I don't think that you can do it from LinkedIn, but I think you can definitely from YouTube and most likely from Facebook. You can make comments. I may ask questions that are maybe seeming rhetorical, but you're welcome to chime in at any time. So the first question that I always ask people, because we want to do a little bit of myth busting here. When a person is a beginner, which Ken is not, so Ken, you'll have to dig deep into your old days. And when you first wanted to learn a song by John Prine, how did you do it? What methodology to go through? And listeners, go ahead and be thinking of the same answers here. Same question, I should say.
Well, that is a good question. Generally speaking, I would listen and I'd sing it and I'd play it and I'd sing it and I'd play it and I'd do both. And in the old days, before we could go back and forth, I'd let it play a few grooves on the LP, lift it up, and do it again. Wore out a lot of records that way. Same is true with cassette tapes.
Were you mostly getting the lyrics while you were doing that, or were you actually memorizing the melody?
Both. Yeah.
Both? Okay, so both at the same time.
Yeah.
Sometimes what people do, Ken's a little smarter than some. I don't mean that like other people are dumb, but we just don't know what we're doing unless we have some kind of information, which I'm going to provide for you, and Ken just provided some of it. It's best to learn one section at a time of a song because it's so much information that by the time you've sung it from the beginning to the end, your memory's lost a large portion of it. So then you sing it from the beginning to the end and beginning to end. Now, Ken, when you did listen to the artist and you're writing the lyrics down, after you had the lyrics down, did you just listen or did you start singing along with the artist?
Good question. I think I just started singing along because at that point I knew I liked the song enough to invest a lot of time in writing it down on a yellow legal pad. And I think at the time it was more, and we've talked about this, that the ability to cover a song close to where the artist was important, as opposed to today where there's a lot more flexibility and you can take their stuff and, as they say, make it your own.
Yeah, that's the main goal nowadays. But yeah, we have to fill our memories up with tools that we can rely on when we're being artistic. So that was very good, except for one thing. When we're singing along with the artist, we can't really hear what they're doing. And so I've adopted the attitude or concept of teaching listening, which is also a very, very big part of what great musicians do. They don't just put something on and start playing along. They do a lot of listening. And what we're going to discover here with Melodyne and Audacity is that these singers that we love are very complex. And so just singing along with them, you may not really be getting much of what you hoped you would be getting by singing along with them. So the process that we're going to go through today is, first of all, to bust this one myth that every great singer is perfectly on pitch and perfectly in rhythm. And I'm going to show you here with a new software. It depends on how long you've been around, but it's called Melodyne. I'm going to present here now with sharing my screen. So Ken, if you don't see it or if anything changes on your end, please let me know. We are now sharing. So all I can see is my screen. Are you okay on your side?
I do not see the Melodyne.
Do you see it in the little thumbnail at the bottom?
I do not. I see present. You're in the show.
Right.
Let's see.
Is there another box next to you that looks like Melodyne's in there? Should be in there.
Let's see. Do we want a video file that says present, which would seem to indicate that I would be doing it instead of you?
Oh, just click present. That doesn't matter.
Okay, then it comes up slides, PDFs, video file, image file.
Oh, okay,
share screen.
Yeah, you can't do that. So there's three thumbnails. There should be three thumbnails right now. My picture, my little video, your little video there, and then next to it should be Melodyne, what I'm screen sharing. And all you have to do is click on the center of that video. So maybe I can show you on my side here. I'll stop sharing this for a minute and share my entire screen. Oh, I see what you're seeing. Yeah, share screen. Yeah, you don't want to get involved in that. I'm going to have to put up a video to show you. Okay, so I'm sharing my screen with you. I'm just going to go share my whole tab here, actually my entire screen. Okay, and share. Oh, there we go, and share that. Okay, so I'm looking at my screen right now. You see how there's three screens. And if I want to see this one, I need to click on the middle of it, and then it adds it to the stage right here where you can see it. So this is what I'm sharing, is my whole screen right now. And can you see it? Maybe you can't even see this.
No, I can see that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. All right. So that should be the same thing when I remove this and open up. Okay. So now I've stopped sharing the screen. Now I'm going to go back to Audacity and start sharing it, and it should look the same. And all you have to do is click in the middle of it, and it should bring it up so that you can see the entire thing.
Okay, now I'm seeing. I have two screens.
Mm-hmm.
Both says live. One has, it looks like the phone shape. The other is on a horizontal or vertical. And then I have another screen next to it. So I have two instances of this, and I need to close out one.
Well, click on the center of them and see if it brings up the entire screen for Melodyne
No,
first.
I go into a bifurcated, or I go into full screen, but nothing's there. So I still have two instances of this running.
Okay, let's try this. I've got to stop sharing, I'm sure. I want you to share your screen with me. So what you do is you go to the little box that's black and has a plus mark and a little guy there with a plus mark. Click right in the middle of the screen, that black plus sign, or white plus sign right in the middle of the little TV screen. Then you'll see that what you were talking about, screen share. You can click on that. And then you'll have to select, let's see, your options are going to be entire screen. And then you click on the video that you see yourself on, and then I should be able to see you when you go down to the bottom and say share.
To share your screen, allow screen recording for Chrome and system settings. Then you'll need to restart Chrome.
Okay, well, don't do that. Well, let's see.
Okay,
So everybody, as you can see, it's the live TV. So if you ever want to use StreamYard, which I do recommend, be ready for all these little problems, because it doesn't seem to matter how many of these do. Sometimes something just does not seem to work. Even though I've tested it and it's worked in the past, today it's not working. Who knew about that in computers? If anybody wants to chime in as to what they think would help, okay, he's left for the moment, so we will wait till he comes back. And I will put on this little thing that says, "We'll be right back." Won't that be? Oh, there he is. Okay, he's back. And I'll put you on the stage. There we go. And your audio should be in far play. But I don't hear you, so I don't know what's going on with that. But anyway, here in StreamYard, make sure that your microphone is off.
Okay, site is muted.
I don't even hear you in FarPlay, so you've left FarPlay somehow. Oh, I see you there. Okay. Why don't I hear you? Oh, I just need to turn this up. Give me a test.
Test.
All right, there we go. Good. All right. Now I'm going to edit your mic settings so that we can hear you on StreamYard. Okay, give us a check.
Check.
All right, good. You hearing any echoes?
No.
All right, then we're good. Okay, so I'll bring you up there. In recording, folks, there is always changes, always something to move around. All right, now, when I share my screen with you, tell me if you can see it or not. And here is Melodyne. Did a thumbnail pop up?
Nope.
All right. I have not a clue as to what to do here. Let's see. Every time it's a different problem, so it's very confusing. But yet you saw it when I shared the entire screen.
Yeah, I did.
What is the difference?
I saw your entire screen.
Yeah, what is the difference? Let's see. So, yeah, the entire... Well, maybe we could do it that way. If I share the entire screen, then you can see what I'm doing. So we'll do it that way. All right? And so I'll put that up on the stage. Okay. Now I'll bring Now I'm going to pull Melodyne upwards. See, now you can see it, right?
Correct.
Okay, so we had to do this a little bit different, folks, but here we are. And you guys should be able to see whatever Ken is seeing, because you're all guests, basically. Okay, so I'm going to play just a small clip here. There's not a reason to go into tremendous amount of detail. We're just going to point out a couple of things that are important in the belief that great singers, such as Tom Snyder, is always on pitch and always on rhythm. And in the Americana, some people could say it's even more different than, say, the more processed music that's going on today, where they've tuned the voices and so forth. So I'm just going to play this once or twice, and then I'll explain what's going on.
Play a train song, hold me one more round.
Could you hear that, Ken?
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're good there. All right, so going to play it again. Here we go.
Play a train song, hold me one more round.
There we go. All right. So when you hear that, and by the way, this is what's called a stem splitter, where I've got Todd's voice right here without any music, which is really cool because we can actually look at it. So you probably never heard of Melodyne, so let me explain what we're looking at. These big orange things, they just lovingly call blobs. And they represent his voice, the exact position on the piano screen, meaning in the middle of this gray square right here is exact rhythm and exact pitch. And you can see he's not perfectly in rhythm. He comes in a little bit early based on this line right here, which is also a rhythm line. And then we can see here this inflection. He goes, and you can see that right there. So perfect would be, da, da. He didn't do that. People don't do that anymore. It's old school opera, and when you try to learn things from the piano, this is kind of what you get. I don't know the words, but I'll show you later what I'm talking about. But I can also show you right up here in these little squares right here exactly where this pitch lies, and it's 18 cents sharp. So that means it's 18% off pitch. This is normal, guys. Now this one is only 5 cents per flat. That's really actually quite good, especially for Americana, if you think that that is a good thing. I'm not saying it is. I'm saying it's good on this screen. Then it comes to the next line here, and you can see that it's 36% flat. And you see in this gray area that he's only halfway in the middle of it. If he was in the middle of it right here, like he is right here, he'd be perfectly on pitch. Then it comes down here, and we're, again, 34% flat. This one, interestingly enough, is right on. That is right in the piano. Now, this is really cool here. You see, I'm going to play this, and I want you to watch. He's going to drop right here. He goes, da, da, and you can actually see that his inflection drops a full octave. It goes from this B3 right here to this, even more than that. It's B3 to F, it's right here, sorry. So it's G to F sharp. Well, G to G, because this is actually flat for G. So he's trying to, I don't think he's trying to do an octave. It's just an inflection. So again, when I play it, listen to where it drops off right there. I think the word is, do you know what the word is, Ken, there? So
Drop off?
Train down. What word is that?
Train song.
Song, yeah. So right here, you're going to see this. It doesn't, Melodyne does not give me the words. Here we go.
Play train song.
Yeah, so fast, but it does matter. It is part of his style. It's part of his feel. It's part of his personality. This is just almost a little bit of a noise right here. I don't even think we can show what it is. Yeah, it's hey song. Then he starts right here. And again, this is quite flat, 20 cents flat. And here again, 20 cents flat. Now, am I putting him down? Absolutely not. I'm saying that this guy's an incredible artist, and this is why. Because he's not trying to be off pitch. It's just that if you sing this kind of music, perfectly on pitch, you don't sound like an artist. You sound like a robot. So Melodyne proves to us, no matter what our ear has been trained to believe, that these notes are in fact flat. This is good, folks. Don't think, he's saying Tom Snyder sings flat. That's terrible. No. This means that Todd Snyder has great feel and artistry. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing this guy here, and we're back to this. The next thing is we've busted that. Also, I wanted to show his picture here. A nice-looking guy. Now, I heard that he has passed on, though, right, Ken?
Yes, but that doesn't really look like Todd Snyder. But
really?
Maybe 40 years ago.
Oh, yeah, it's a young picture of him. Yeah.
It's best to line him up in his hat, floppy hat, with flowers around it, bare feet on the stage, torn jeans, sometimes even a shirt that almost looks like a clown pattern.
Mm-hmm. That's what I saw in the video where he was singing, right?
Yeah. So
yeah.
His flatness and the way that he sings is consistent with his image and what the audience expects. He's kind of, he calls himself a troubadour, so he gets away with all kinds of stuff. But that flatness, if you think about it, fits his image in terms of kind of a stoner, hippie, kind of, I care about it, but I really don't.
Mm-hmm.
And getting down into what we call the grit.
Well, he cares, right? But So, what? Explain how, in this context, you're using the term troubadour.
Well, he explains it himself in an interview where he says, I never wanted to be a musician. I just wanted to be a troubadour and go around and sing my songs for anybody who would listen. Okay. He says, a musician, you got to get up and you got to make money and you got to do X, Y, and Z. He says that's not my thing, even though I think he was reasonably financially successful. He's got multiple albums, and still has a very dedicated fan base.
But I think what you're saying is that wasn't his goal, though. I mean, it happened, but it wasn't
It
necessarily.
happened, but it wasn't
yeah.
his goal. He just
Right.
liked to make music.
And I would
and
say
tell
it happened
stories.
because it was not his goal.
Right. No,
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand when you're an artist, people come to you because they love what you do, not because you come at them. You don't stick a sign in front of them and say, "Here I am." You just perform. You perform for your friends. You perform in the neighborhood. You create your own local concerts, and you just play.
Yeah.
So that's great. I think a lot of us are troubadours, just have never really used the term before.
No, I fit in that category. I fit all the Guy Clark, John Prine,
Mm-hmm.
Nancy Griffith, all those folks were singers of songs as opposed to producers and artists in that realm.
Yeah, and you're doing outdoor or backyard performances as well
I'll
at people's
go and
homes.
sing where anybody wants me to sing.
Well, you hear that, guys? KB Lane.
Yeah, ready?
You can look at.
I'm cheap, but I'm not free.
He's been around long enough that he's not going to be free. So that means he's good, right? Because if he wasn't able to draw any money, he'd say, well, okay, I'll do it for free. But once you've done so many things for free, you have to start looking at your time going, well, do I still want to do things for free, or do I need to make a buck or two?
Well, my gig is have me come sing at a house party. You take up a collection,
Mm-hmm.
and then we pick a children's charity, and
Oh.
we donate the money to them because quite frankly, I've been blessed, and I can do this, and my value is in what I can do and putting people together in a room and having fun, which is what Todd Snyder did.
Yeah.
If
that's
you
excellent.
watch his audiences, they are absolutely it's almost like a Grateful Dead experience.
Mhm.
They know all the songs, and even though his lyrics are sometimes very disjointed, they make sense. In this song, the girl was high as a hinge.
Oh, okay. So
Think about that.
very descriptive, yeah. A
it's
hinge
like,
on a
it's
door.
an interesting
Yeah.
metaphor.
Yeah, it
you
is
can
very
be
much,
low as
yeah.
a hinge too,
Yeah.
but it doesn't have alliteration to it.
Well, he puts it in context. He says high. Yeah. That's great. But
And in his music, lots of people were high a lot of the time.
so they really related.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's all part of an artist's life. Maybe drugs are part of it. But don't think that every artist dies because that they're all going to take drugs. There's a tremendous amount of great artists that are not in rehab, and they're not dead, and maybe not taking drugs at all. So keep things in context. Unfortunately, the media tends to take things and say, oh, well, they died because they were an artist and because they did drugs. So is it appropriate to ask why or what happened to Todd?
They still don't know. It's a very murky situation in Salt Lake City.
Oh, Salt Lake
He
City.
was separated from his band. He fell and hit his head.
Wow.
The
Ooh.
police picked him up, and they put him, I think, in jail for a time, transported him to the hospital. The hospital sent him back.
Whoa.
And then it's very, very murky. Probably not drug related, but he
Doesn't
did
sound
have
like it,
his
yeah.
issues with substances over the years. But that was part of, I think, the lifestyle. And something just went horribly bad at the end.
All right. Well, I'm not glad he's dead, but I'm glad it wasn't an overdose.
Well, no, and I think that the irony of he has songs that foreshadow this kind of end and the way he lived his life, and I think how maybe he wanted to go out, although I don't think he wanted to do that right now.
Sure.
Um,
Sure.
He was
He
having a
had a
good time.
long
He was
life to
on
live.
tour.
So how old was he? He still looked pretty young on that.
59.
Yeah, I was saying, he definitely didn't. So he still could have done a lot. All right. Also, you can expand your screens if you want. There's a little icon at the bottom of the video area. I don't know if the people who are on YouTube can do that, but you can do it so you can see all of the screen. You don't have to look at all this stuff that I'm working on, but you'll be able to see the share screen. So I'm going to pull up Audacity now, which is another tool for learning, is the way I look at it. It's mostly used for recording, right? And that's part of why I use it, but it's not the entire reason. All right, where to go? Okay, I got I'm sharing screen now. Let me bring up Audacity. There we go. You got it, Ken?
I do not.
You don't see my entire screen?
No, it went away. I've been watching you and me.
What happened here? Let me go back to, let me get texting out of here. You don't need that. Okay, stop
one of
sharing.
the,
Okay, stop. Oh, yeah, stop sharing. So here's StreamYard. We're all on StreamYard, and I'm going to share this screen first. So tell me if you see, I don't want, see, Chrome tab.
You know,
Entire
I
screen.
am wondering, I have log in and sign up for free. in
You
the
shouldn't have
upper
to get
right.
on. No, you shouldn't have to
get
do
on.
that.
Okay, just wondering. So
All
one
right,
of
so
the things.
I know. Let me add it to the stage.
There
How's
you
that
go.
now?
There, it's better.
And we've got the we've got the mirror effect. We got those guys going down there.
You're going down
Anyway.
on the rabbit hole.
Yeah, that's not going to matter because I'm going to bring up Audacity. And so when I bring up Audacity, tell me if it goes down the rabbit hole because I won't be able to see it.
No, you're good.
All right, very good. Okay, so this is a tool to help you assimilate. Is a great word for this. Integrate what great artists do and how they do it, so that you can make it all part of your own. That's the idea here. We're not trying to be Todd Snyder. We're trying to learn from Todd Snyder because he's a very successful and a great artist was, and he spent his life doing that. Well, if we can learn it in a couple of months, what took him his entire life, I'm not going to say that we'll be as good as him, but if we can learn those things that he gained over time in a very quick way, why not, guys? And you can put it, you can approach jazz with it, or you could put it anywhere you want. It'll be in your subconscious, and Ken knows this. When you put things in your subconscious and you're writing, all of a sudden things just start flying out. You don't even know where they came from. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that.
All right. Thank you very much. All right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you a little bit about how to approach Audacity easily. This is kind of a teaching program today. So Ken is learning. He's the one who chose this song, and he's the one who chose this phrase, approximately. And we're all going to be learning, except for me. I already know how, so I'm going to show you. Here we go. So I'm just going to play from this play button right here, right where I've marked it. And when we're at the end of the phrase that we want to work on, I'm going to click pause. So here's the chorus. Okay. So usually you want to put at least a bar or two ahead of where you're actually trying to learn from because you need like a little bit of an introduction. Now I'm going to highlight this area. You know, Ken, I don't know if we've talked about this. Audacity calls it scrubbing. And I wondered why, so I asked good old AI. It's an old term from tape editing. They scrub the area of the tape to mark a spot. Well, they don't have to do that anymore, so that's good. But this is called highlighting for most of us. So I've got this spot marked, and now I can loop it. So we could listen to it over and over again. So this is where we start singing. And then we'd listen to it again. Hope everybody's listening. I'm listening. Okay, now I'm going to do something that's going to surprise even Ken probably, because there's actually a lot of information here. Even though he's singing fairly slow, the tempo's fairly slow, there's still a lot of things that he's doing that are creating the effect that we're hearing. So let me change tempo. You see we go to effect here, drop that down, change tempo. I'm not going to go crazy on this one because it's already slow, but let's go 20%. Slower than the original tempo. And when you use Audacity, you want to have this little box checked, use high quality stretching. Click preview. Okay, so that means I didn't get the entire area scrubbed. So that's why you click preview. Okay, there we go. All right, now effect again. Pitch and tempo. I go let's go 20%. Preview it. Okay, that's good enough. Let's click apply. Now, like I said, I don't know this song, haven't memorized it, but let's just take that first line. And I couldn't find any sheet music on this song. Zero zip. I did find, to give them a punch, ultimate guitar, I did find the chords. But that doesn't tell us what sheet music does. Sheet music would come across like, okay, here's the beat. 1, 2, 3. It's a train song. Da, 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 da. You can't learn that from sheet music. It's just not what he's doing. So if you can't learn it from music theory and you can't learn it from sheet music, you have to learn it by ear, which is the way music has been learned mostly since probably the 1920s, at least the more modern stuff. The old musical theater and opera still use the classical sheet music approach, but that's kind of died off. In fact, I haven't seen a piece of sheet music in my studio for probably 30 years. People just don't use them anymore. They bring in their tracks, or we pull up a track on YouTube, or whatever. They learn that way. But we want to know exactly what Tom is doing here. So what we've done is we slow this down so we can hear how he inflects. We can hear how he rolls the pitches. So listen very carefully for details. It won't be boring because you're listening for details. Here it comes. So I'm going to mention the first thing I've noticed. He says play a train song very quickly, but he starts in the middle of the beat. So it's 1, 2, play train. So play is not on the actual beat, neither is train. Play a train song. You see already, because I've done this so much, I can kind of get a feel of what he's doing. Play a train song. And if you think back at Melodyne, we were able to see how his voice kind of slides around, and that creates an emotion. It creates a feel. Tell us a little bit about this song, Ken. What's it mean overall, please?
You know, I have one other song that I do by him in my song list. This one was kind of brand new. It popped up after he passed as one that people really liked. It's basically about dissolution and conflict in a small town. And you're playing the train song because a guy comes into the bar and wants a train song, which for Todd Snyder was not an unusual situation. People would want to come in and want him to play something different than what he was playing. In fact, he's got a whole shtick about playing like Van Halen.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and because he only plays the same dang 3 chords.
Yeah, okay.
You know, so he makes up little Van Halen, which is basically he slings one string for about 3 beats. He plays it. But anyway, what
do you mean by sling?
Sling a string as you bend it.
Oh, bend it. Okay, all right.
Yeah. So, but you sling the string, and
it rhymes.
Yeah. Well, he has an opening to one of, I think it's maybe to when he's going into something more controversial, and he says, look, I'm going to sing some things that you might think are controversial. You may not think they're controversial. I might think they're controversial, but they may not. The only thing is, I only did it because they rhyme.
He sounds like a real character.
And then I think he matched up his persona with his music, and I think I was going to comment as I'm listening to the guitar underneath, that counterpoint that he has to the beat, the note, the song, the note that he's singing, the beat. He's in between beats.
Right.
Almost, he does that on a lot of his songs. And
that makes it hard. Let me bring Audacity back. That kind of sometimes makes it hard to learn, doesn't it?
Well, it does. You have to pick your own poison and do it the way you want. I think when we get back together, I wrote a new song this weekend that has some Todd Snyderish elements to it, just by virtue of listening to the music.
But when you're the rhythm section and the singer, and the rhythm section has to be on the beat, and you have to sing off the beat, do you feel that that's a challenge?
The way that he does that is that he artfully puts in extra syllables in his statements, so they don't line up, and they never will line up. He's always ahead of the beat or behind the beat when he puts the lyric in on top of just basically his finger picking. Yeah, he is
but
doing
his
a
rhythm
pretty
on the
straight
guitar
finger
is
picking.
steady, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But it's a little bit syncopated most of the time. Not quite swing, but it.
I felt that. Yeah. Actually, we can play just the music here.
Yeah.
Slowed down.
Let's see if I've been listening correctly.
See, he's right on the beat.
But it's that little bum, da dee da da bum, da
Yeah.
dee da da bum.
Oh yeah, it's definitely not like straight ahead boring for sure. Let me remove the loop so we can listen to it a little more. You see, he's got to split his brain in a way. He's got to play the guitar one way and sing a different way. And I found that challenging when I used to play and sing. But yeah, he's definitely not just strumming like 1, 2, 3, 4. There's definitely a feel, like Ken said.
Yeah, and it's not exactly, if you put that on a metronome,
You'd be a little off.
yeah, he'd be off by half a country mile.
Does he ever play with other people?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
He's
got to
see,
stay with them.
sometimes
then.
has a band behind him.
Oh well, then he's got to keep steady time with them, then, right?
Yeah, or they got to just go.
Follow him.
It's a loose collection of characters.
Now I hear that Steve, a friend of mine, Steve Fansler, mentioned how you got to stick to whoever the lead is, and like glue. So if Todd's doing his song his way, then the band's got to stick to that. They can't just go off on their own and say, okay, we're going to do this perfect time, and if Todd's not doing it, too bad.
Well,
they've
and
gotta play
I've
his
noticed
feel.
when I'm recording,
Mm-hmm.
if the producer puts a click beat or just a kind of a light drum beat,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't take very long, and I'm in that rhythm, and I lose the personality of the song.
Yeah.
So there's a real balance there, I think, between singing it in a this is not a bad, it's a sing song.
Mm-hmm.
So as opposed to singing a song.
Right.
And so there has to be, somebody's got to come up with 2 shuffles in the beat instead of 1.
Sure.
So that because that's where they're going to go on the transition to the next chord.
Well, folks, the reason that when you go in the studio, they kind of almost force you to do that, use a click track or drums, is because of what they call the DAW. It's a digital audio workstation, and in order for them to be able to edit the way they'd like to be able to edit,
Right.
they want everything to be right exactly on the lines so that when they move things, they know where they move. However, they don't have to. You can say, look, I don't want drums, I don't want click track, I want my feel. And you'll have to pay them extra because it'll take them longer, but you can do it. But they'll fight you on it. So you just have to be like, okay, look, this is my style, this is how I do things, and therefore no click track and no drums, or at least get a real drummer in there that can follow you, who's playing along while you're singing. Because this is one of the issues with digital music is it's getting easier and easier to manipulate. But I don't think even AI can follow you yet. I don't know. I might be behind the scenes, behind the times on this. But if I was in the studio and I was playing with that feel, could they put a drum in there that is AI that would follow me?
I don't think it's there yet.
Yeah.
I think it takes a human ear and a lot of experience with working in that. And I've never worked in a band. I've had a snare drum behind me. And that's probably my maximum live experience with other musicians, but when I watch carefully, when they know their music, they can kind of hold up on a beat, or the bass can go just a little boom boom and work in a 32nd note or a 16th note. Just
it's really hard to actually call what it is. That's one of the things I've learned.
It's more like a
like who knows
goes by.
See, logically, what Ken is talking about is you have quarter notes, and then you have eighth notes. So this is math. 16th note. So it's a 16th of a quarter of a full note, 32nd of a full note. But sometimes when you're trying to learn this, you could swear, if you could actually figure it out, that they were off the math. They were not on the 32nd or the 16th. They were on the 18th or the 34th, somewhere in there. And again, the only way you can learn this is by feel. And I think that's really what we're talking about today. And I like the fact that the conversation has gone into the music part of it as well. I think that's really powerful. A lot of people are not liking all this computerized music. It's not going to go away, but I think Todd probably attracted a lot of people away from that music because it was too strict. Too much on time, too much on time.
After 4 beers, it really doesn't matter anyway.
Sure it does, Ken.
Actually, you hear it differently, and you swear the next day it was perfect.
Well, that's another interesting thing that I've noted is that every genre, rock, blues, rhythm and blues, classical, whatever, they all have kind of different rules, different parameters. And so people's ears get trained to believe that Todd is perfectly on pitch. And in his style and his music and the way that the people grew up that listened to him, he is perfectly on pitch. He's just not perfectly with the piano pitch. And this is what Melodyne shows us, that it's not perfect with the piano pitch. We don't want to hear, let's see, how would that go? Train song. We don't want to hear, that would be very boring, right? So we don't want to hear this. We want to hear something that has a lot more color, a lot more interesting. And again, if I played this directly against his voice, he would sound like he was off with the piano, and then I would applaud that. I would say, yes, thank you. Don't sing along with the piano. That's just wrong.
Well, even though his guitar is on pitch,
well,
in terms of being
440.
No, if you pick up on him, he's tuned it up. He's tuned it into 440.
Yeah, but the guitars themselves have some variables in them.
Yeah, well, they do, but I think all of us, in its earlier stuff, it might have been a little squishier now with tuners. But if you think about it, some people claim that the 440 hertz, that's an A note, is very, very artificial, and the human sound is 432 hertz.
Yeah, some people are tuning to that now.
Yeah, if I think if you move those 8 hertz, which is not a lot, he would be a whole lot closer to being on tune.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, again, see what is that's what I'm talking about. The different genres have different tuning values. Like again, looking at Melodyne, and we're saying that Melodyne shows that he's 36% flat, but in his world, he's perfectly on pitch. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I think it's not so much that people are hearing a true note. It's that when they feel the vibration that he's putting out, they hear movement that relates to something they can feel and understand.
Now Ken's talking about the real stuff.
Yeah, now I'm talking about your stuff with the emotional content.
Yes, this is
that he's really singing the song like he would if he was just out walking on a back road singing along, like they supposedly did back in the Middle Ages.
Yeah, yeah, troubadour. Yeah, that's where that word came from, isn't it?
Right.
So now that you've said that, let's listen again. We've heard a few inflections. Hopefully you've memorized some of them, but this time as you're listening, try to imagine what emotion is Todd feeling that's creating what we're hearing. And that's kind of what Ken was talking about. He's creating vibrations. These people use emotions. They don't use music theory. They don't use music technology. They don't, like we say, they don't quantize themselves, which is what people do on computers. Everything is about how the emotion drives the music. So check that out. Let's listen to how the emotion drives Todd. And now that we're hearing it slower, it's easier for us to hear the details. Here we go. So he's talking about liquor there, right? Pour me one more round. Is that right?
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of, actually, this, I like Todd a lot better, but the new artist Shabuzi, when he's singing about alcohol, you can feel some of that in his singing as well. It's like he did have a couple of shots. Maybe he didn't, but it's what you feel when you hear it. It's kind of what, you know him better than I do, but let me play that again. I'm going to point out a couple of things. Right, so it's like play a train song, folks. That's emotion. Music theory would be play a train, play a train. Boring. No, not going there. And then so the next part. So again, play it. What is the train song about? Ken?
I have no idea. The song is literally about he wants to have a train song played. It's not about a train song. It's about everything else except the guy comes in and wants a train song. And, play a train song.
Right. Okay. And it's fun for drunk people to sing along with that. Because that's how they're going to sound. Play a train.
Well, the other thing that he's doing there, and he does this in I think a lot of his stuff, is that think about train. Mm-hmm. Think about the sound of the train whistle.
Oh, is that how it goes? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, good.
Then when he's into it later, and in other versions, his rhythm is boom.
Oh, okay.
Play a train song.
Okay, you sing, I'll do the
Play a train song.
Yeah, that's cool. And then, now how that affects the next line, I don't know. Let's listen.
That's the thing.
It's coming. All right, so just what we talked about. Play song. Right, now here's the rest. Now, I know we've slowed this down so it sounds even more emotional, but what do you think the pour me one more round? What would you imagine he's feeling there?
It's like, okay, the guy asked for a train song, right?
Okay.
He says, yeah, just give me another, or it's the guy asking for another round.
After he gets
Play
a train song,
pour me one more round.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
going to stick around and listen to it.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I like it. So he's singing there as like a third party. He's talking about the actual person who asked him to sing. And in the video that you sent me, someone in the audience says, "Play a song," and he goes, "Well, yeah, that's why I'm here. I'm going to play a song." I don't know. Did that go into this train thing, or I didn't listen to the whole thing?
It's one that he sang in a lot of sets, and that may have just triggered him to do the song. I think he was sometimes random in playing. It's like what the audience would call out, or he has one song that he made a song called Beer Run. It's about going out and getting a beer, making a beer run. We need a beer run. Okay. And it's quite repetitive, but apparently whoever wrote If Tomorrow Never Comes ripped him off for a beer run. And his whole story is about how he finally ends up in the same room with the guy. And he says, you ripped off my song. He says, well, maybe I did, maybe I didn't.
Prove it in court.
There's a tell in when he sings that song, he sings If Tomorrow Never Comes exactly on pitch.
Oh.
He's
Which
like,
is part of this song?
If tomorrow never comes. He sounds like a
Like a
pop singer.
Or pop singer, okay.
More of a pop singer. but he doesn't do his trademark. Now on the Beer Run, he does. I couldn't sing it for you. It's been years since I've heard it, but
Yeah, that's an interesting thing you mentioned, because that's another complaint about pop music now, is it's overtuned. You know, the guys are mixing with Melodyne, or going in and tuning the voices a little bit too much to the piano, and it takes away from the genre. But the great mixers are becoming like producers. They make a lot of decisions, and they're sitting there and they're watching Melodyne and they're listening to the artist. And the great mixers are staying within the genre of the artist. I was producing a vocal once, and it was a country singer, and the mix engineer actually was more of a pop guy. And so when the singer hit a note that was too close to piano pitch for country western, I had him flatten it with Melodyne, and he was looking at me like I was crazy. But I said, "Look, do you ever hear country music?" He says, "Well, no, I don't." I said, "Well, that's why it's bothering you. If you were a country music listener, you'd go, 'That's great.'" So this is another issue. But see, Todd is not edited here. This is totally live, totally raw. I'm sure no one's Melodyne this, because I looked at it and I don't think anybody would have changed the pictures.
No, if you see, there's pictures of one of the areas, I wouldn't even call it a studio necessarily, where he recorded. They've got a little table where one of his people would sit and kind of feed him ideas, and he's singing and playing, and he's got some other, whoever's in the room working on the music with him. So it isn't even fully tricked out. It's just, they probably balanced it nice acoustically, and but it's very homey.
And sometimes that's the whole point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was his, that was, I think, the way that he was able to just relax and let her fly.
Yeah, and it fits the troubadour effect. Yeah, I'm just here. I'm just here in this room singing. There's no recording going on. I don't care. He sounds very comfortable with himself, and I think that's one of the signs of a great artist, is they're very comfortable with who they are. Maybe they're shy, maybe they're insecure, but when they're singing, you feel that sense that they know what they're doing, and that's why we love it. Because if they were really like shaking and nervous inside and really showing a lot of insecurity, it would destroy the feel of it. We probably wouldn't like it that much.
I think from teaching singing from feel and that emotion, when you watch him on the stage, he's totally present. There's never any withdrawal. He's right up, and he's, in some cases, he's telling the same story he's told 100 times. But like Rhiannon Giddens, who we did a couple of weeks ago, he also liked to sing in his bare feet.
Yeah, which grounds him. Yeah.
He was grounded on the stage. Although I also noticed he had a pair of Chukka desert boots on, like I wear when I'm on stage.
Okay.
So,
well, when you've seen him, you obviously listened to a lot of his performances. Do you notice, like this line here, for instance, if you had memorized it from this recording, and then you heard him doing other live shows, do you think it would be exactly the same?
No, but it'd be close.
You're right. It's close, but he's still improvising, and I think that's why he doesn't get bored. You said he's maybe sung it 100 times. But these guys always sing it a little bit different because they're feeling it. They're different people. We're dynamic creatures. We're not static. And so he's going to go, one day he's going to go, I don't mean to put words in his mouth, but just as an example, one day it might be, play a train song. And another day it might be, play a train song. Another day it might be, play a train song. You see subtle differences, but it's still the same song, and it's still, each one has a little bit of a different emotion.
The saying, you can't swim in the same river twice.
Exactly, yeah.
That's pretty much, and I know when I sing, and who did I don't know if it was Dolly Parton or Loretta Lynn, but they said they sing this song, it's different every time.
Yes.
Same song, different every time.
Excellent. That's great advice.
It depends on your audience and your level of energy. And, in some cases, all of us forget the words.
Mm-hmm.
So
you make something up.
Then you're really singing different.
That's right. There's a great, if you want to find it, there's a great recording of Ella Fitzgerald singing Mac the Knife. And she got like about 1/4 into it and forgot all the lyrics and just made the rest of the song up all the way to the very end. It's pretty funny. But, people who sing a lot, it's easier for them to do that because we learn to fake. We all make mistakes, but can we make mistakes without people really noticing because we can fake it? Yeah, we do that.
No, I don't know that it's even faking it. I think, one of my signature songs is "Don't Let Me Die in Vegas."
Right.
And depending on the audience and what kind of reaction I'm getting, there's spaces, there's room for them to breathe and get into the song. And I think that makes it authentic in terms of being able to adjust your conversation, especially with this kind of music. If you're singing Adele, but even she breaks it up. So does Lady Gaga. They have a relationship with the audience, and they just kind of let it fly.
Well, the faking I'm talking about is when you made a mistake.
Well, yeah,
and you're just trying to cover yourself.
And I'm gonna go. You go to a G instead of an F, and you know that you got to come back around real quick.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, especially if and these people are usually improvisational. Now, I'm not talking about improvisational like crazy scatting, like I'm talking about that. But improvisational in the respect is what we're talking about. They sing it a little different every time. And if you loved Todd enough to follow his, you could take just this one section of this song, get it 5 or 6 other recordings, and find the same section of the song, and you would learn something different every time. There's so much information available here. So let me talk about how this is actually used and how I teach people to use it. So the best thing to do is once you've slowed it down, or if you think you can do it at the original tempo, you can make your own choices. But you should listen to it 20 or 30 times. Now, when I say that, it sounds daunting, but if you're really listening, like we've been listening, and I've been showing you how he goes and how it's flat and so forth. If you're really listening, you'll absorb it. You have to absorb it, because the next way to make sure that you've got this is to sing along with it and make sure that you have a perfect unison with it. And I'll explain what that is in a moment. But perfect unison is when 2 singers sound like one. And when you record your voice along with his, you do that with a multitrack here. I'm just going to talk while this is recording, but this will give you an idea of what multitrack does. So here he's singing, and I would be singing along with him because I've listened, and my goal would be to be exactly like him, to sound like one with him. Right? So if I've done that, if I've accomplished that, which I did not do today, but now we can listen to that, because I've listened, and my goal would be to be exactly like him, to sound like one with him. See, folks, that was a recording. I wasn't live there. It's hard to tell with the new technology. But once you've created a perfect unison with him, and have you done that yet, Ken? Have you tried this?
No, because I think, well, I agree with you on that as a learning tool.
Yeah, only learning.
What I want to hear, I want to be so, okay, I can sort of get there. What I want to do is feel where he's putting the music. Mm-hmm. And then I want to back, and I think if you match it and come close, then you can back it out to fit your sensibilities as an artist.
Yeah, so you're very advanced.
So I think it's great to, if you're a woman and you can imitate Adele and hit her notes at the same time in the same way. I think that's really critical to learning.
Yes, only learning.
Once you get to past that point, and maybe that's where you're saying I'm at, is that I want to take that lope that he has and a little bit of grit, and by listening to him, I know it's okay for me to do that too.
Yeah, because he's sold enough records.
Yeah,
prove
right.
It, yeah.
Well, and that isn't that part of the point, is that we really want to get to be able to sing like great singers, so we can be great singers.
Yes.
On our own, and not and put our own brand on the mix. So yes to point A, yes to point B.
Yeah. And so you've brought us to an excellent position, because yes, we're only doing this to improve our artistry. So you can just get the feel of it, match it up just a little bit, and say, okay, I got the idea here. Now I'm going to move on. And that's perfectly all right. You know, this teaching method allows for everything. But if you're a brand new person, you've just very
Right.
first starting to learn these songs, this will speed up your learning by light years compared to what most singers do. I'm going to share something else with you guys.
It sure
here.
does beat trying to find the right groove on the LP.
It sure does. You know, with these new tools, I mean, this is so exciting as a coach because all of my students are learning exponentially faster. So again, just real quick before we leave here, the process would be 20, 30 times listening, sing along 5 to 10 times, see how, if you feel like you're creating unison, that means that you and Todd sound like one. You can't really hear yourself outstanding and you can't really hear him outstanding. You're together. Then you record yourself to verify. So you're singing along with him on that track I just showed you. When you play it back, you're trying to listen to like, okay, do I understand the rhythm? You know, Ken would just be like, okay, am I close? Am I in the right feel? Am I getting the emotion here? But for a beginner, it would be like, okay, did I get the rhythm and the feel and the pitch of Todd? Did I sing the notes that he sang, even though he was flat? I should be flat, so I'm going to sing those notes flat. That's what you want. Am I off rhythm? Yes, you're off rhythm. That's exactly what you want. You've achieved that goal. You can move on to the next phrase. You can speed it back up, of course. You know, that's the next thing you can do is you can go from minus 20% to minus 10%. Once you've learned the feel of this, you can speed it up very quickly and be back to 0%. And if you want to have a little extra confidence for live performing, if you actually wanted to impress people by sounding like Todd, you could go a little faster and make sure that you've got it. And so when you're singing the original tempo now, it's like, okay, this is really easy. One more thing. Hey, wait a minute, guys. What if I'm a woman? This is kind of a wrong key for me. This is like, blah, blah. I'm just like, I'm feeling really low, blah, and I don't want to be really high, blah, blah, right? So you can change the key. Now, with the women, they're going to go up. So I can go back to effect here and go into tempo, change the pitch, and we could go up, say, 4, just so he's going to make him sound like a real tenor here. I'm going to preview it. You see now, the woman can sing it. It's going to be, as I work with a lot of female voices, that's going to be very comfortable. Yeah, the C sharp right around middle C, middle C. So that's another way that you can make this work for you, because the last thing you want to do is be straining. When you're trying to learn somebody's phrasing and their artistry, and you're trying to learn how to sing like a great artist, if you're straining, play train song, and you're having all those problems, not a good idea. Okay, I think we've covered that. So I'm going to go out of screen share here. I got to go back to StreamYard. There we go. And remove that from the stage. And one more thing here. Oh, this is weird. Oh, you're down here. Okay, here we go. So I've removed it. All right, very good. I'm going to show you kind of what a singer goes through that sang the song the way that we mentioned that it's not the best possible way to do it. And then we've decided that we're going to use this technique and learn how to create a unison. So this is a little demo that I made that is on YouTube. So let me pull that up. Here we go. We have to go up here for that. It's the only thing I didn't get ready today. Otherwise, I've been right on top of things. But this will only take a second, happily. Okay. There's my account. There we go. My account. YouTube Studio. Yay for YouTube Studio content. And here it is. Okay. Now I'll be talking, and it'll be like just listen to what I say. It's not super important because everything I've told you this is going to sound like a repetitive thing, but for most people who've heard it for the first time, this is what we want to do here. So here it comes. I've got to go back, share the screen. Give me just a second, please. Okay, back to StreamYard. Where are you? Okay, we got to do that. StreamYard. I'm going to share my entire screen. to YouTube. All right, here it is, and I'll give you the whole experience here. Is that looking good, Ken?
I don't see YouTube yet. I see a lot of you and me on here.
You don't see...
there's a song hook in there somewhere, too.
Yeah. Let me go back and double check then. It's because I forgot to add it to the stage. There we go. Thank you. You know, it's so great to have you here. It's almost like having a producer. And I have other students that help me out with this, and it's really great. Everybody gets different opinions, different feels, different ideas, and we just learn a tremendous amount. So, do you see it now?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Thank you. And
Hi, this is Brad Chapman, Radical Vocal Coach. I'm going to show you how Ed Sheeran is such a great, incredible star, etc. In other words, not only him, but you'll see why it adapts to any singer. The way we try to learn from these people has not been working. Didn't work for me, doesn't work for hardly any student I've had or anybody I've ever known. So I'm going to show you the way we do it, and you'll see why it doesn't work. Then I'll show you the results of my VMS system, and you're going to love it. Hang on for a great ride.
Be sure and read the text here.
But I'm in love with the shape of you. You push and pull like a magnet do. Although my heart is falling too. I'm in love with your body now.
Well, I'm in love with the shape of you. We push and pull like a magnet do. Although my heart keeps falling too. I'm in love with your body now. Or I'm in love with the shape of you. We push and pull like a magnet do. Although my heart keeps falling too. I'm in love with your body now.
And you see, the singer kind of overdid it there to make sure that you got the point. I'm going to stop sharing screen here. The fact that we sing like that along with the song, we don't hear that. We don't know that we're making those mistakes. And so the point is that if you want to understand, you've got to listen first. You've got to make sure that you hear what the artist is doing before you start singing, and that's why I decided on the 20 to 30 times. And then, of course, as you get faster, you know, maybe it'll only take 5 times, and you've recorded it, you've got the unison, and you're moving on. Things can go very quickly. So it all depends kind of on you. Also, I've got 2 QR codes up here. One is for a program that explains this, and another is my new book, Sing From Feel, Being the Authentic Artist That You Are. And so you can just put your camera up there and take a click, and you'll take you to the appropriate places to learn about it from.
Here we go.
All right. Ken is up with things. So I appreciate everybody coming, and I really appreciate Ken. Can I hire you as a producer?
Sure.
Sure, yeah. How much money you got, Brad?
It's all good. Let me put in a pitch for you.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, I think I would be remiss not to do that. Brad has helped me effectively reshape and shape my voice and my ability to create and make my own kind of troubadour music, as well as to, I think, imitate as much as I would like some of the greats like Todd Snyder. I think this new program really will work, especially if you want to start getting yourself and your muscles and your vocal cords working in the same direction. So give it a try, and maybe we'll see you singing out on the street.
Thank you. That brings up another real quick thing here. If you want vocal technique, go to a private instructor. Do not buy programs on how to use vocal technique. You can't learn that. I've tried. I've seen people come in that have done those things religiously, and they have really bad habits because they're not the teacher. They don't know if they're doing it right or wrong. One poor fellow who was actually quite a professional singer got a polyp, and he had the program. He should not have gotten a polyp if the program was working. At least that's how he felt about it, and from what I know, I agree. So technique is another thing, but when you do learn these songs from these artists, yes, you're right. You learn how to use your vocal cords better and your diction better, and especially if you stay with a particular genre. Some people like to hop around, and you don't want to hop around so much that you're a jack of all trades, because then it's hard to get people to pay any attention to you at all. But I think that closes it, man. That's great. Thank you so much, Ken.
All right, my
And
pleasure.
Everybody watch out for the next time I promote this so you can join us and actually ask questions and connect and really make a good time out of it. All right, take care, buddy.
Good night.
Bye-bye. Ending stream. Here we go.